Hello, everybody. My name is Kid, and welcome to FGM Studios, where we discuss films, games, and more. And today, I'm going to do my first review of Marvel's latest film, Antman. Wow, this is a movie we've been waiting a while for. Was it uh like announced in 2008, like right after Iron Man and Hulk? God, that's a long time for a movie. Um, But going into this movie, I don't know a lot about Ant Man. I'm a Marvel guy, but I don't know that much about it. But I knew enough. But I knew more of the Hank Pym, not Scott Lang, which is this. Well, it's both. Kind of spoiler there, but it's both. But basically, Hank Pym develops the Pym particles, and he hides it away because it's too powerful technology that if it gets in the wrong hands, could be disastrous, and that's why he hides it away until his assistant, student, whatever, just kind of discovers it and replicates it with like no formula, equation, and he kind of comes out of nowhere, which is odd. Hank Pym needs to get Scott Lang, a thief who's trying to take care of his daughter. It's a heist movie, and they need to destroy what his student has created so that the world may be safe. So yeah, it's another save the world movie. Whatever. We've seen those countless times. I've looked up very few reviews, but most of them were saying incredibly positive stuff. It was hilarious and it was brilliant and all that stuff. So I didn't really look that much reviews into it, but the thing that brings it down for me, that makes it a good movie, it's that the pacing of this movie is incredibly rushed. I thought Ice Age 4 was rushed. This one was, wow, really rushed. And I don't know if that's a story thing or because, the original director left this and it kind of shows. I don't know if it's mainly just the director leaving or if it's we've seen this before, so we know the drill, so just speed everything up. But I think this movie should have taken its time a little more. That's the biggest problem. Uh, the other problems are not that big. Like the villain, I'll get into it later on. But like the villain, he comes out of nowhere. In fact, you wouldn't even know this guy was the villain unless he like told you so or looked from the trailers. He comes out abruptly. Like he was a student, and he was like, there was establishing scene with Hank Pym that establishes his company Pym Technologies is trying to replicate or use his Pym particles, and it's with a different guy, and this student is like nowhere to be seen. So he comes out of nowhere, so that's really weird. And how he could able to replicate the serum or whatnot, anyways, little out of the blue. So two big problems. The other one, the second biggest problem, is that, well, it kind of ties into the first one being incredibly rushed. The characters are not fleshed out enough. You don't get enough of them. It's not. It's not horrendous. It's not really bad. It's not that bad, but it needs to be handled a lot better. It's like really inconsistent. Like it kind of cuts between a funny scene to a really dramatic scene to this really quirky scene. So it's not constructed well either. It's kind of like a collage almost. Okay, the best way I could describe this movie is that it's a person who only had like a whole day to make a good collage painting, and he just threw stuff in and he's trying to patch up the best he could, but it still looks good. It looks good. It's not great or anything, It's not Avengers, but it's still good. It's impressive of how well they were able to get out. So, quick one by the characters. I'm trying to make this as short as possible, but Scott Lang, pretty good. Paul Rudd actually plays this guy really well. I know that what he's doing, like, he's a thief, but also he isn't like doing that for kind of the greater good, and he's selfish, and it's kind of grating to see him go through this cycle of him being pushed to do this stuff, and it's kind of hard. You don't want this guy to do this stuff, but you feel like that's his only option. his daughter's not that good. Is she the daughter from the babysitter's commercial? That I think that's her. Don't quote me on that. I think it's her. Then we got Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. Pretty good, but again, really rushed. It's weird seeing him in a superhero film, but whatever. And he does a good job, and I totally believe his scenario. But again, this pacing issue is really rushed. Hope Van Dyne, who I forget who she's played by. She plays her well. You can get behind her, but again, this thing is all very rushed. I hate to be repeating myself, but that's the fact. It's rushed. The villain, Mr. Cross. When looking at him, I have no idea why people are like upset about him. Like they say, "Oh, the movie's good except the villain." Really, it's the thing with kind of Ronan and Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not really that. It's that the character himself is not good, but the actor, he is just having so much fun with what he is given that I just don't care. He's kind of fun to watch. He can be intimidating too, which is weird. Like when that establishing shot where he's yellowjacking, he kind of like rises up and you see those two arm blasters on the back kind of build out. I've seen that in the trailer multiple times. Like that is still kind of intimidating. But yeah, he was having fun with what he's doing, and really that's what we come here to do in these Marvel movies, is to have fun. Other characters like Luis, comedy relief characters, he's funny in certain ways. He's funny. And the rest of this crew, and like I said, the pacing issue is really off. And I want to see more of these people. Well, with that said, they do play their parts well. Those are essentially 4 main characters. The movie's not as funny as I like it to be, but it's still funny. It kind of cuts between the dramatic parts, which is why I kind of think it interferes. But it's still funny. They should have given us more, take its time a little more. But with that said, the story, not flowing, but it is established. And there are certain plot holes that I don't get, but when push goes to shove, it's not that bad. And with the good things that's in this movie is good enough that you can digest it all. So I have a weird rating scale, and I'm going to have to give it a good. That's all I can say. From this scale here that you can see, I have to give it good. It's a good flick. Glad I saw it. Probably will get it on DVD. And yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. So hopefully you guys can get an idea. I know I'm a little late, but that's kind of not my problem. Really, there's not that many reviews up there anyway. But yeah, it's from what I've seen. Yeah, it's still a good movie. Would recommend seeing it. And that's all I have to say. And take care of it, guys.